begin. We're doing meatballs. Nancy's Meatballs, I've learned from lots of the best, but I have my own version of it just to make it a little bit healthier. And I don't know. I have some people in my life that's the only meatball they'll eat. So I know everybody has their own recipe. I'm just going to show you mine. So I had some old bread. I put it through the food processor and I just broke it down. Now, Italians, we kind of grew up, you used every bit of everything. If you got stale bread, you don't throw it out. You freeze it or you put it in the cabinet, you make meatballs. So what you do with day old bread is you add milk to it and you let that stale milk or the stale bread get soaked up by all that milk, and that's going to soften it up. When we use our meat, it's going to kind of stretch out our meat. So, Italians, we have big families, and we only have so much money. So you need to be able to stretch your meat out and to be able to feed the masses, really. So that starts with adding a filler, but it's not like a bad filler. It's just something that you're not throwing away. So you're using every bit of everything that you buy. So I have converted to using turkey meat for my meatballs years and years ago, just to kind of take out some of the fat in our life, but I ended up just loving the texture. It's a nice soft meatball. You don't really need to use a lot of breadcrumbs. Oh, that was so stupid. I have a garbage bowl. That's why that's there, so you don't have to stretch around. So you have your meat, you have your day-old bread that's been soaking in milk. I only used a little bit of milk. You don't want them to be too wet or too soft. Okay, you're going to add an egg to that. Make sure you don't get any shells in there. That's good. And then you're going to add your flavored breadcrumbs. There is cheese already in this seasoned breadcrumbs. It's like garlic powder, onion powder, basil, oregano, just your basic Italian blend for breadcrumbs. And you don't want to use too much. Kind of like when you make mashed potatoes, if you overwork it, it'll get hard eventually. So meatballs, you have to just kind of know with your hands when they're done. And yes, you use your hands. That's why they invented soap and a sink. Okay, so you're just really going to get right in there and start incorporating all of those ingredients. So once you've incorporated all of your ingredients, wash your hands. You're going to get the oven set 350. You're going to treat your pan with a little bit of canola oil. And you're also going to treat your hands with a little canola oil. We're going to make literally handmade meatballs. So just kind of rub it together and you're just going to eyeball the size. You want them all to be the same size so that the cooking time is all the same. If you have a couple small meatballs, they'll get overcooked. If one's too big, they won't be cooked all the way. So just eyeball it and form the ball with your hands. Is made, we put a little extra salt on it to just enhance the flavor at the end. You don't need any more oil because the oil from my hands kind of coated the whole meatball. So again, you put it in a 350 oven, like 10 to 12 minutes. It should be done. Okay, so my Uncle John is the absolute best. He was the one that recommended doing a meatball episode, and he sent me this little care package. He said I should channel my inner Julia Child, and he went to his antique shop and got me some pearls. And then he also sent me some of his homemade soap so that I could have a COVID-19 protection plan. So thank you, Uncle John. Happy birthday. Okay, as we're waiting for our meatballs to bake, I need to tell you a couple stories about my Nana who lived downstairs from us growing up. She constantly had something in the oven or something on top of the stove. Obviously meatballs being one of them, which is where I learned because I sat down there and I watched her for hours every single time. So she was like absolutely just to be able to smell it, like even if she wasn't teaching me by like telling me how to do it, I was just in the room with her and I was watching. So that's the thing about meatballs. You got to know the texture and you got to know how to like handle them. That's like rule number one. Anyway, besides meatballs always being like on the side of the stove, literally in that bowl that I think I took from my mom and haven't given it back yet, she had Italian shortbread glazed cookies or a chiffon cake or homemade chicken nuggets. And part of the game was to like run downstairs and steal as many as you can before she would notice, because she obviously had them like set aside for the church or for families or it was somebody's birthday. So thank you to my Nana for, always making enough that there was enough to go around.